Hey, Van, sorry about that. I had to delete some stuff on my phone and upload that first part of the video that I did earlier because I ran out of storage space. So, what was I saying? But it's like, yeah. What was the point? What's the point of a whole thing with judging people? You know, to me, there's no point in judging. There's no point in making assumptions about people just because to you it's not something that makes sense. You know, it's just one of those things where I feel like a lot of us make assumptions about people without getting to know them. You see somebody who maybe carries around a stuffy, or you see somebody who carries around a reborn, and we automatically think we know everything about that person. And oftentimes that is not the case. We do not know the full story. Or we see something on YouTube and we think, oh, this person is whatever you want to put there. But really, are you living that person's life? You see a video, for example, of someone making a reborn role play video, and you think that the person thinks that the baby's real. It's called role play for a reason. It's called acting for a reason. There's video editing software. People put sounds over videos for a reason. Not everything that you see online is real life. And not everybody that you see doing certain things online, like role playing with a reborn, means that they treat that reborn as if it's real 24/7. But it's like, it baffles me the way that we seem to think that we know everything about a person because we've seen 5, 10, 15 minutes of a person's day. And we seem to think, oh, I know everything about this person. I have a right to judge the person. But the reality is, who gave you the right to judge? Who gave you the right to say that what that person is doing is right or wrong? And why is it okay for you to go online, like on YouTube or anywhere, on any social media platform, and comment something nasty and rude and mean to somebody else? You don't know what that person's going through. Maybe that person has depression. Maybe that person has anxiety. Maybe that person went out of their comfort zone and talked about something that maybe was hard for them to talk about. You don't know what the person's going through. Quit judging and making assumptions and talking crap about somebody on a keyboard in comments because you think that what they're doing isn't aligning with your viewpoints. Okay, if you don't like a video, if you don't like something, you don't have to watch. Ain't nobody making you watch anything. There ain't nobody putting you in front of the screen and saying, you must watch this. This is mandatory. This isn't one of those situations. And the fact that you take time out of your day to go into people's YouTube channels or to go into people's comment sections for YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever social media platform it is, and you go in there just to leave a negative comment, do you have nothing better to do? Making somebody feel bad because you may be struggling or because that's all you've ever known. The whole thing that's the only thing I've ever known. I've heard people say that those people, and this is kind of a little off topic a little bit, but those people, for example, who are bullies or who are abusive towards other people, for example, I have heard people say, oh, it's because that's all they've ever known. I'm pretty sure that there have been situations with those people where they did not experience just the bad side of things. You can have gone through really crappy stuff and still make the decision to be a better person. You can be a better person. You can heal and you can work on those things without making someone else feel bad. So if you've gone through something like bullying and you've been hurt, why would you hurt someone else if you know what that feels like? That's the thing that I never understood, was people who have been bullied or have been in situations of being bullied, being the ones that were being bullied. Why do they turn around and then bully someone else in return? What does that do? Why are you turning into the person that hurt you? What's the point behind it? You know, our world is so full of people who hurt each other and who make each other feel awful, especially online. And for what? What is the reason? What is the reason on commenting on somebody's weight or somebody's lifestyle or how somebody does something? Unless you have evidential proof that the person is doing something wrong, the judgments are unnecessary. If you don't like something, scroll past it. If you don't agree with somebody's content, then don't watch it. There are so many other things out there that you could be doing with that time that you are spending leaving a hate comment. You could be going out and doing so many other things that are more beneficial to you than sitting there and hurting someone else. For what? It has never made sense to me why someone would want to go out there and just hurt someone and just say something just because they can, or just leave a comment just because they can. Why? And I've seen it not only on this channel, I've seen it on so many other channels. People leaving unnecessary comments just because they can. Just because you have the ability to type a negative comment doesn't mean you should type a negative comment. Just because you have the thought in your head doesn't mean it needs to be written out loud. Just because you have a negative thought in your head does not mean that the person you have that negative thought about needs to hear that negative thought. Unless you are giving constructive feedback, there is no need to be rude. There is no need to be mean. There is no need to be judgmental. Keep your little judgmental ideas to yourself. Unless you have something that is going to make someone else's life better, or unless you have something that is going to help somebody, making comments about someone's body weight, making comments about someone's way of life, making comments about how someone's house looks, is none of your business to make comments about. You don't know what that person's going through. Maybe that person has had a long day and for example, maybe the person that you're making a comment about is a mom, a single mom who has a full-time job and who has kids that she's taking care of. That person's not always going to have the time to clean the house and make it look perfect. Or maybe you see someone who has furniture that maybe isn't 100% up to standard. Maybe they don't have the financial ability to afford that stuff right then and there. But they do the best they can with what they have. Quit being judgmental. Honestly, our world is so focused on being judgmental and on just judging everybody. For what? What is I'm sorry, I'm going to keep repeating it. What is the point? Why? What are you gaining from it? Why are we so quick to make these judgments on people that we don't know anything about? You see 5 minutes of their day, you see 10 minutes of their day, you see bits and pieces of their life, and suddenly you make a judgment call about who they are. Or for example, you see a channel that shows various different things, including pets, and suddenly you make assumptions about those pets. Why? You haven't been in that person's shoes. You don't know the person's circumstances under which they're taking care of those pets. You don't know what's going on in the background. And unless you know what's going on behind the scenes, and unless you know what's going on outside of what you're seeing online, you have no reason to comment. Unless there is a actual reason for concern. But if the animal looks healthy, if the animal looks happy, if the animal is taken care of, doesn't matter. Everybody's circumstances are different. Sometimes you see animals being separate in the house for a reason, because maybe those pets don't get along, so they're doing it for the safety of everybody involved. You see an animal, for example, that looks very, very thin, or that looks X, Y, and Z. Doesn't mean that the person is not feeding that animal. Does not mean that the person is not caring for that animal. Maybe that animal has some sort of medical issue that they're dealing with, and that the human that is taking care of them is trying to deal with. Just the same way as with people. You see someone who maybe looks a little overweight, or maybe who looks not to your standards of how they should look. doesn't mean that that person is automatically eating unhealthy, or does not mean that the person has an unhealthy lifestyle. Or you see a video clip of a person eating McDonald's, for example, or eating some sort of fast food, and you assume that that's their only lifestyle. Not always the case. Not always the case. You don't know the full story, and unless you know the full story, you have no reason to be judging and no reason to be critical of people. So let's try to be a little bit more understanding with people and get to know people and ask questions and be thoughtful in your questions. Be thoughtful in what you ask. Be thoughtful in what you say to people. And if the person, and you ask a question, the person doesn't feel comfortable answering it, it does not mean that the person's hiding something. I've seen that comment too. Because someone doesn't want to answer a question, they're hiding something. No, nobody's hiding anything, and we're allowed to have privacy within our own thing. Just because we put ourselves out there in social media, whatever that social media is, does not mean we owe the entire world an explanation on everything. It just doesn't. We are allowed as people, as content creators, as human beings even, we're allowed to have public stuff, we are allowed to have private stuff. We're allowed to have things we keep to ourselves, and we're allowed to have things that we share with others. It's the same thing like with the social security card. You won't go around telling everybody your social security number, right? Or your bank card number, or your account number for your whatever. You wouldn't be doing that. So why would you expect that everybody has to give you an explanation all the time about what you're dealing with? About every little knick-knack and stuff in their life? Why? Why do people on the internet owe you an explanation? Nobody owes you anything. Nobody owes an explanation to anybody about anything. If they choose to give an explanation and they're being asked a question and they're choosing to give a response, great, good for them, and that's on them to decide. It's not on you to decide whether or not a person is supposed to tell you something or not. This is not how this works. I'm sorry, it just isn't. And it's not fair that we have this tendency, and not every single one of us. Obviously, I'm not like this, and I know a lot of people in my life who aren't like this, and not everybody's like this, but there's those select few who think that they have a right to everything, and you don't. And they don't. And just because you see one little thing, like someone carrying around a stuffy, or someone eating fast food, or someone, I don't know, carrying around a doll, a reborn, doing role play videos with a reborn or something, it means you know everything about their life. You don't. You see what the person wants you to see. They show you the bits and pieces they want to show you. That does not mean that that is their life all the time, all the moments of the day. That does not mean that just because you saw a clip of someone eating fast food, it means that that's what they eat every day, all day. Just because you saw a clip of someone playing with a doll and doing role play videos, it does not mean that that person role plays with that doll all day, every day. Sure, they may be creating content of that sort. And if they do that on their own time, that's on them. That is not on you to make that decision. People do what makes them happy. If something is making someone happy, and it's not affecting you, and it's not affecting your ability to live your life, then quit judging. And if you have something to say about it and you don't like it, there is this thing called scroll. You can even put, I'm not interested. I know, for example, like on Instagram, there is a I'm not interested kind of thing. You don't have to comment. You don't have to take time to make the other person feel like crap because you don't agree with something. Anyway, I wanted to just finish my thought on that and everything like that and show you guys that I put this little guy in a Looney Tunes outfit because I just wanted to. I don't know why. But anyway, I love you guys, and I know that a lot of you guys who are on this channel obviously are not the kind of people that I'm talking about here. This is just me kind of venting and ranting a little bit because I have seen so much online that just irritates me. And I just felt like it's to get it out there. Okay, if you have anything to add, if you have any comments, concerns, or anything like that, like, we can talk about it in the comment sections. We can continue having the discussion about it. But please, 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 please be civil. If you're going to comment, if you're going to leave a comment, please be respectful. Please be civil. Please be polite. We're allowed to have differentiating opinions and still be able to have a conversation. So let's keep the conversation civil and kind, and let's continue being the kind of community that supports each other and supports people regardless. And let's just make the world a little bit more kind, because we have enough crap going on in the world right now. The world could use a little bit more kindness. So go hug a loved one, go hug a pet, go tell somebody that you appreciate them, and maybe go leave a positive comment somewhere on somebody's video, because I can guarantee you we all need a little bit more positivity and a little bit more love sometimes in our lives. So you never know whose day you're going to make by leaving that good positive comment. So anyway, I love you guys so much. As always, remember, if you're going through it, you'll get through it. And remember who you are. And I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.